In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the plane of symmetry. The plane of symmetry is an imaginary plane. It's not a real plane. It is an imaginary plane that bisects a molecule into two halves that are mirror images of each other. Plane of symmetry is an imaginary plane that bisects a molecule into halves that are mirror images of each other. There are two kinds of plane of symmetry. One is vertical plane of symmetry. It is given by the symbol sigma v. It is a plane which contains the principal axis. When you have many axes in a molecule, for example, if you have C3 and C2 in a molecule, C3 is the principal axis, that which has a higher order. When you have C6 and C2 in a molecule, C6 is the principal axis. And the vertical plane of symmetry sigma v is a plane containing the principal axis, whereas the horizontal plane of symmetry sigma h is a plane which is perpendicular to the principal axis. Now what we see is a water molecule. C2 is the principal axis and there is only axis in water molecule. And you will find a plane passing through oxygen atom, bifurcating the two OH bonds perpendicular to the molecular plane, and that is known as a plane of symmetry. What type of plane of symmetry is it? In order to identify the type of plane of symmetry, see just the plane and the principal axis. The principal axis is C2 and look at the plane. The plane contains the principal axis and so it is a vertical plane of symmetry. If you see the definition for vertical plane of symmetry is a plane containing the principal axis. This is the principal axis, C2 is the principal axis, this is the plane, and the plane contains the principal axis, and so this is known as sigma v. Sigma v is the plane containing the principal axis. There is another plane water molecule like this. This plane cuts all the atoms in the molecule into equal halves. That is, this plane passes through the oxygen and the two hydrogen atoms. In each of the atom, one half is above the plane and one half is below the plane. Now you look at this plane and look at the principal axis. Once again, the plane contains the principal axis, and so this is also a vertical plane of symmetry. Since we have two vertical planes of symmetry, one is this and the other is this. This you call as sigma v plane and this you call as sigma v dash plane. So this is also a vertical plane of symmetry because the plane contains the principal axis. The same can be represented in a different way also, like this. This is the sigma v dash plane, vertical plane of symmetry containing the principal axis. What we see now is the structure of ammonia, NS3, trigonal pyramidal in shape, and there is a plane of symmetry passing through the NH bond. The NH bond is contained in the plane of symmetry. In other words, plane of symmetry contains the NH bond, and the principal axis in the case of ammonia passes through the apex, that is, passes through the nitrogen atom like this. C3 is the principal axis. Now you look at the plane and the principal axis. The alignment of the plane and the principal axis, The plane contains the principal axis. Since it contains the principal axis, this is a vertical plane of symmetry. And it passes through the NH bond, and bifurcates the two other NH bonds. It bifurcates this NH bond and this NH bond. But this is a plane containing the principal axis and the vertical plane. But how many vertical planes will be like this? Since there are 3 NH bonds, there will be 3 vertical planes passing through these 3 NH bonds. So there are 3 sigma V planes in ammonia. Next we see the structure of boron trifluoride. It is trigonal planar in shape. Ammonia is trigonal pyramidal, whereas BF3 is trigonal planar. The center of the triangular plane is occupied by boron atom. The corners of the triangular plane are occupied by fluorine atom. And there is a sigma V which is passing through this BF bond. That is, the plane contains the BF bond. Out of the 3 BF bonds, one bond is contained in the plane, other bond is to the left, and the third bond is to the right. This and this fluorine atoms are the mirror images. They will get interchanged during reflection, whereas this fluorine atom, since it is contained in the plane, it will remain unchanged, unshifted during the reflection. The C3 axis, which is the principal axis of the BF3, passes through the boron atom and it is perpendicular to the molecular plane. This plane is also perpendicular to the molecular plane. Now you look at the alignment of C3 axis, the principal axis, and this plane. Axis and plane. The plane contains the axis, and so it is a vertical plane of symmetry, sigma V. The sigma V plane passes through the BF bond and bifurcates the 2 other BF bonds. There are 3 BF bonds in boron trifluoride. There will be 3 sigma V planes in each one of these BF bonds, like this. The 3 sigma V planes are perpendicular to the molecular plane. Next, once again we find the boron trifluoride. C3 is the principal axis, passing through the boron atom, perpendicular to the molecular plane. There is a plane like this which contains the molecule, which contains the molecular plane, which contains the boron and the 3 fluorine atoms present in the molecule. And now look at the alignment between the principal axis C3 and this plane. Principal axis C3 and this plane are perpendicular to each other, and since they are perpendicular to each other, this is a sigma H plane, horizontal plane of symmetry. Sigma H plane is present in the molecular plane and is perpendicular to the principal axis. Next we see the structure of xenon tetrafluoride, square planar. C4 is the principal axis, passing through xenon, perpendicular to the molecular plane, passing through xenon and perpendicular to the molecular plane. And now you find a molecular plane, the plane containing the molecule, the plane containing the molecular plane, the plane containing the xenon and fluorine atoms. Look at this plane and look at the principal axis and look at the alignment. The principal axis is perpendicular to this plane, the plane is perpendicular to the principal axis, and so this is sigma h, the horizontal plane of symmetry. Once again, now you have the xenon fluorine marked now by more axes. C4 is perpendicular molecular plane passing through xenon atom, whereas the C2 axes are contained in the molecular plane. The C2 axes are contained in the molecular plane. In this case, the C2 axis bifurcates the two. This is one xenon fluorine bond, this is another xenon fluorine bond, and the C2 axis bifurcates the two xenon fluorine bonds. Likewise, this also bifurcates the two xenon fluorine bonds, and the C2 axes are present in the molecular plane, whereas C4 is present perpendicular to the molecular plane. In essence, C4 and C2 are perpendicular to each other. Now let us look at a plane like this. Look at the nature of these planes. Let us see the plane is passing through which atoms. The plane is passing through this fluorine, xenon and fluorine. Fluorine, xenon and fluorine, three atoms. This fluorine is in this side of the plane, whereas there is simply another fluorine which is behind this plane, which is not visible to us. So this plane is passing through fluorine, xenon and fluorine, and this plane bisects two C2 axes. This is one C2 axis behind the plane, this is one C2 axis in front of the plane, and this plane bisects the two C2 axes, and this plane passes through fluorine, xenon, fluorine bonds, and this plane contains the principal axis, which is C4 in this case. Look at the alignment between C4 and the plane. The plane contains the principal axis, and so this is a vertical plane of symmetry. Sigma V is a plane containing the principal axis, and this bisects the two C2 axes. This is one C2 axis behind the plane, this is one C2 axis in front of the plane. It contains more number of atoms. It contains three atoms, fluorine, xenon and fluorine. That means we are going to come with an example where we are going to contain less number of atoms, lesser than 3. So there are two such sigma V planes in xenon tetrafluoride. Now once again we find the xenon tetrafluoride. C4 is the principal axis perpendicular to the molecular plane passing through xenon. We have shown two other C2 axes. In the previous case, these two C2 axes, the C2 axis was in between two xenon fluorine bonds. This is one xenon fluorine bond, this is one xenon fluorine bond, this is the C2 axis. But now this C2 axis is passing through the xenon fluorine bond. The C2 axis is also passing through the xenon fluorine bond. The C2 axis are present in the molecular plane, whereas C4 axis is perpendicular to the molecular plane, and so C4 and C2 are perpendicular to each other. And now you look at this plane. If you look at this plane is passing through xenon. Imagine that this plane is passing through xenon. In between this C2 axis and this C2 axis. In between this C2 axis and this C2 axis. These two xenon fluorine bonds are in front of the plane. These two xenon fluorine bonds are in front of the plane. There will be two more xenon fluorine bonds which are behind the plane. So 2 xenon fluorine bonds in front of the plane, 2 xenon fluorine bonds behind the plane, and so the plane contains only one atom, which is xenon, and this plane also contains the principal axis C4. Since it contains the principal axis C4, it is a vertical plane of symmetry, but this also bisects 2C2 axis. This is one C2 axis in front of the plane, this is another C2 axis behind the plane. This plane bisects these two C2 axes, but this plane passes through only one atom, only one xenon atom. And so, to summarize, this is known as a dihedral plane of symmetry, sigma d. It also contains the principal axis C4. It also bisects these two C2 axes, one in front of the plane, another behind the plane. But it contains less number of atoms. It contains only one atom, xenon. These two fluorine atoms are not in the plane, they are in front of the plane. There are two other fluorine atoms behind the plane. Plane contains only the xenon atom. It contains one atom. Compare it with the earlier plane. This plane contains three atoms: fluorine, xenon, and fluorine. That is why we have given it as more number of atoms, whereas this plane contains only one atom, and so we have given it as less number of atoms, and this is the dihedral plane of symmetry. So the difference between dihedral plane and vertical plane, in this case, the vertical plane, that is bisecting the 2C2 axis, is that the sigma V plane contains more number of atoms, whereas the sigma D plane contains less number of atoms. There it was passing through F, Xe and F, whereas here it is passing through only xenon. To summarize, the dihedral plane of symmetry, which we saw just now, is a plane bisecting two C2 axes. That is what we saw. It is bisecting this C2 axis in front of the plane and this C2 axis behind the plane, and containing less number of atoms. That is also we saw. It contains only xenon. These two fluorine atoms are in front of the plane, so it contains less number of atoms. That is what we call as a dihedral plane of symmetry. So we have seen three types of plane of symmetry. One was sigma V, the vertical plane of symmetry, and it is a plane containing the principal axis. Horizontal plane of symmetry, sigma H, is a plane perpendicular to the principal axis, whereas the dihedral plane of symmetry, sigma D, is a plane bisecting the 2C2 axis and containing less number of atoms. So there is sigma V, the vertical plane of symmetry, sigma H, the horizontal plane of symmetry, and sigma D, the dihedral plane of symmetry. Thank you.